From our studios in Fishers, Indiana, this is the Jacob Pyle Show. And here he is, Jacob Pyle.
Thank you, Paul. I've got sunshine on a cloudy day. When it's cold outside, I've got the month of May. Well, I guess you'd say, what can make me feel this way? My girl, talking about my girl, my girl. I've got so much honey, the bees in me. I've got a sweeter song than the birds in the trees. Well, I guess you'd say, what can make me feel this way? My girl, talking about my girl, my girl. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Hey, 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 hey. Ooh, yeah. I don't need no money, fortune or fame. I've got all the riches, baby, one man can claim. Well, I guess you say, what can make me feel this way? My girl, talking about my girl, my girl. I've got sunshine on a cloudy day with my girl. I even got the month of May with my girl. Talking about, talking about, talking about, talking about, talking about my girl, yeah, yeah, yeah. There are people in this country who work hard every day. Not for fame or fortune do they strive, but the fruits of their labor are worth more than the pay, and it's time a few of them were recognized. Hello, Detroit auto worker, let me thank you for your time. You work a 40-hour week for a living, just to send it on down the line. Hello, Pittsburgh steel mill worker, let me thank you for your time. You work a 40-hour week for a living, just to send it on down the line. This is for the one who swings the hammer, driving home the nail, or the one behind the counter, ringing up the sale. For the one who fights the fires, the one who brings the mail, for everyone who works behind the scenes. You can see them every morning, in the factories and the fields, in the city streets and the quiet country towns, working together like spokes inside a wheel. They keep this country turning around. Hello, Kansas wheatfield farmer, let me thank you for your time. You work a 40-hour week for a living, just to send it on down the line. West Virginia coal miner, let me thank you for your time. You work a 40-hour week for a living, just to send it on down the line. This is for the one who drives the big rig up and down the road, or the one out in the warehouse bringing in the load, or the waitress, the mechanic, the policeman on patrol. For everyone who works behind the scenes, with the spirit you can't replace with no machine. Hello, America. Let me thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Welcome to the Jacob Pyle Show, or should I say welcome to the Season 2 premiere of the Jacob Pyle Show. My name is Jacob Pyle, and I'm glad to have you with us. Happy Labor Day. That was a tribute. The 40-hour week song was a tribute to all the men and women, hard men and women, people out there working. And if you're working, whether it's night shift, or it's day shift, or if it's evenings, you know, those 3 to 11s or those 2 to 10s, we appreciate what you do. So this day is especially for you. As we begin to move on with our new season, we have some new changes in store for you this season. In upcoming weeks, we will have two. We will not have one guest. We will have two guests. Our guest for this week is, we're going to do a extended interview or extended conversation, I guess, with Matt Stone. And another new face, a new face you'll be seeing or hearing will be Paul Poteet, who has done the weather for WTTV and WRTV for all those many years. And Zach Brown's still with us. He is going to be our fill-in person anytime on special episodes or on things where, you know, Paul can't, you know, be, because he is a busy man, you know, or like can't participate. So yeah, we'll be back. We'll be back in a moment with part 1 of my conversation with Matt Stone. Stay with us. Welcome back. My first and only guest for tonight is a former blogger based in the North Indianapolis area. Please welcome to our show, Matt Stone.
Pleasure.
Matt, welcome to our show. Tell us about yourself.
Born and raised in the Indianapolis area, bounced around all over town, and now for the last 4 or 5 years, I've been in Carmel, working for the man.
Yeah. Happy Labor Day, by the way.
Yeah, it's a great time.
Yeah. Do you have any big plans for Labor Day?
Not really, not at this time. Sometimes we try to hit up like Turkey Run if the crowds aren't too bad.
Okay.
But besides that, nothing too big.
Okay. I was gonna say, now we were talking about, you were telling me you live in Carmel and I live in Noblesville. And I've lived in Noblesville and worked in Carmel for a time when I first moved to Noblesville, but before I talk about Noblesville, go ahead and talk about Carmel.
Oh, where did you work in Carmel? Like what part of
Carmel? I did not really work I work in Fazoli's now, but before that I didn't, I don't know if this is considered Carmel. This is something we could probably talk about too. I don't know if this is considered Carmel or not, but the Walmart.
Yeah, the Walmart. So the Walmart's a weird one, because the Walmart is one of those weird things. It has a Carmel address, but it's in Westfield.
It's technically Westfield, yeah.
Yeah, because USPS, the United States Postal Service, they don't care about municipal boundaries. They just give you the address. I'm sure at one point that part was like unincorporated, and Carmel was just the closest city. Mm-hmm. But then Westville annexed it, and
right, because I always thought, and all the businesses there will be like the Carmel Target or
the Carmel Walmart, even though it's
Right.
in Westfield.
Like I've only been in the area for about, I would say, I've lived here for about a year, and then I've worked in the area for 2.
Yeah.
And I have not, like, I was always confused about that because someone at work because technically, like you said, Walmart's got a Carmel address. Like, actually, every place in that Village Park Plaza there has a Carmel address. The Chick-fil-A's got a Carmel address. The Applebee's has got a Carmel address. But technically, they are Westfield. They're
But
Westfield.
yeah, like the apartments behind the Walmart, if you live in those apartments and you have a kid, it goes to Westfield schools.
Right. So yeah, that part always confused me. Someone told me at work one day though, like if you go down 31, if you drive like, and you'll see what I mean. If you drive down 31, you know where so like I said, Walmart and all those places are Westfield. The
Westfield sign,
yeah,
and that's in Carmel.
that's in Carmel.
That was a big tip.
And now then Clay Terrace, which is on the other side of 31, that's technically Carmel, is that
It's
right?
all Carmel right there.
Yeah.
They've got the dog park there.
Yeah.
You know the free dog park, and I think they're adding a hotel there soon.
Any hotel room there?
Yeah.
I think the only place my first and only time I ever been to Red Robin was.
Yep, that's there.
Yep, that's there.
I don't think I've ever been to Red Robin.
No, been there for my first time. I need to go back sometime. It's been a while. Now I've only lived in like I said, I've only lived in Noblesville for about a year, and I will tell you that Noblesville, it's not as big as Carmel is, but you still have but it's still a good sized town.
Yeah.
You know, because I remember when I first moved there, it's like you go down that stretch of 37 where Walmart and all those places are. It's kind of like you're in Carmel, but you're not.
Yeah.
Because you got all those big box stores, Best Buy, Walmart, what else? And
the Perkins
Lowe's, and a bunch of other stuff. And then, which is really cool. And then you venture into the downtown area, and they got really cool antique shops, restaurants.
The county courthouse is right there. The old Washington courthouse. Yeah, it's nice. They got the Bica Cafe, the little Portuguese cafe. That's really good. One of my favorites.
Yeah, and right now, I think when I first, and maybe you can kind of help me. When I first moved to Noblesville about a year ago, and to this day, I'm still trying to get my way around the Indianapolis area.
Yeah.
And I think very rarely do I ever drive through the downtown area. I always most of the time I try to drive as far as where Castleton is.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much as far as I'll go. Like the other day, I went to I had to go to this place in Castleton called what's the name of that place? It's the computer store in
Micro Center.
Micro Center, yeah. And that's where I got all these clip-on mics from. And so we had and I was having a chat with the guy, and I was telling him about the podcast I was doing. And he was really interested in it.
Yeah.
Like he did he was really getting into it, and I told him I've done podcasts for 12 years. So it's he's just I guess he's just amazed about the fact that I'm doing podcasts.
Yeah. Microsoft is great. We had Fry's Electronics ages ago up in Fishers in 96, right where the IHOP is.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's empty now, so it's nice to have Micro Center in the area because it's an actual place to get electronics, and they'll probably give you a non-functioning microphone on like Amazon.
Yeah, or or I think one other time I also convert VHS tapes to DVDs on the side as well. I don't do like copyrighted movies or anything like that, but like home movies, things of that nature. And one time I was trying to see if there was any place local that had DVD RWs, and they did not have, like, most places had the DVD Rs, but not the RWs. And I went over there. I think I placed an order online or something, and I went over there and they had it. Like, I'm like, what other store in the Indianapolis area has that stuff?
I have I have like half a dozen VHS tapes sitting in a closet somewhere that need to be. I've been meaning to like transition to digital media or something like that. It's always been on my to-do list, and it's just like, effort. It's right now. I've got a bunch of my grandpa's tapes. My grandpa passed away like a couple of years ago, and he's got a bunch of tapes. He had a bunch of tapes in a barn, like over. Are you familiar with where Sharpsville, Indiana is, or Nevada? You're probably not familiar, but it's like if you go down, like if you take 31 all the way to Tipton. I know where Tipton is.
Yeah, so if you go down like 19, if you're heading towards 19 from say Tipton to Kokomo, there's a small town called Nevada, Indiana. That was where my grandpa lived.
Yeah.
Well, there used to be this big barn house over there, and he had a bunch of tapes in the back. Now all of them are in my storage unit now.
Yeah.
But he had a bunch of tapes that I wanted to go through. Then when he died, we gathered up all those tapes, and I ended up. And now I have the physical rights, I guess you can say now, to those tapes.
Yeah.
Because I mean, they may not sound much to you, but they had like a bunch of TV. But I love collecting old commercials and things like that from TV. So he had a bunch of TV shows and stuff on those tapes, and I was like. That's really cool. It was like a time machine. You put a tape in the VCR, and then there you go.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm really big into physical media, movies, TV shows, all that stuff.
All right.
Just a great way to pass the time, and the old timey classics. There's something to them.
Yeah. Okay, real quickly, because we are only down to 35 seconds here on my timer. Where can people find you?
Yeah, I'm on X and Instagram at Indy Matt Stone with 2 T's.
All right.
So Indy Matt Stone and on both Twitter and Instagram.
All right. We'll be back with part 2 of my conversation with Matt Stone after this. 1. We are back with our special guest Matt Stone.
Pleasure.
Thank you. I want to explain something to our home audience. Do you ever, we were kind of talking about this before we taped, do you ever watch, like, at the end of a movie, at the end of a TV show, do you ever watch the closing credits of a TV show?
I mean, nowadays you kind of have to with all the post-credits scenes and stuff like that.
Yeah, the Easter eggs and all that.
But especially with, I don't know, sometimes with some movies and TV shows, I kind of feel like I need a time to reflect, on it, especially if it's like very poignant or like a season finale or something like that.
Like I have a friend of mine, and now I do this too. It's like every time I go to see a movie at a movie theater, I usually will never leave when the credits roll, because there's always these little Easter eggs they hide in the thing or whatever.
As I see like the second production assistant who got the Chick-fil-A for the cast gets a credit too, just like the big stars do.
Right. The point I was getting to at is if you watch the closing credits of last week's show, we were playing a rerun of my conversation with Deborah Douglas last week. You would have heard Zach Brown say that my guests for next week's program would be you, Matt Stone, and Darby DeFord of 45 Drive. Due to a last minute situation, Darby could not be here this week to tape our show. But hopefully the tentative plan is next week. I promise she will be here, hopefully. So we'll see what happens. But going back to our conversation, we were kind of talking about landmarks and things like that. We were talking about the differences of Noblesville and Carmel and all those places. You said you had a connection with Tipton. Cheryl's Eat Here and Get Gas.
Yeah, I just like I remember I was traveling to Michigan for this one. I think it was exactly 10 years ago. And it was some family vacation, but I was driving myself and decided to pull over just because I saw that quirky sign. But yeah, it was just a nice little hometown diner, but it was clearly on its last days because the gas station portion was already shut down. It seemed like I think the business across the street was already torn down because of the 31 construction.
Yeah, there used to be a hotel. I think there used to be hotels across 31. Now they're gone.
Yeah,
they're torn down.
But yeah, just a good little hometown diner. It doesn't seem like the northern third of the state has many of those. It's usually something I see a lot in the southern third of the state. So yeah, it's just a nice little Indiana diner.
Yeah, it is. It's people still talk about it, believe it or not, to this day. And
I think I remember reading that the crew there carried on like a community center closer to downtown Tipton or something like that.
No, that's not Cheryl's. That's a place called, what's the name of that place? It's not Cheryl's, but it's oh my gosh, there used to
I swear I've seen something reading about it in the Facebook, the Cheryl's Facebook group.
Yeah, no, it's not. I don't think that's Cheryl's. It's a similar breakfast place. It's like, but Faith's.
Yeah.
Faith's Northside Cafe. Yeah. For a while, when I think because of COVID or something, they had to shut down the cafe, and a lot of people were talking about it, so they temporarily moved the cafe over to the CW Mount Community Center in Tipton, and to where like they were able to, I think it's like every weekend or something they would have something.
Yeah, and so we were talking just before we came back about, since you live in Noblesville, but I saw you flash your little library card to Fishers. So I was at the state fair. So coming from Carmel, where the school district and the township and the city they're all three same boundaries. So there's no real confusion there. I was at the state fair 2 weeks ago, and I saw this picture, and I'll send this to you on Reddit so you can put it up so the audience can see. I saw this picture of Spider-Punk from one of the Spider-Verse movies, and I was like, I want that. But I looked at the little placard, and I don't know if she wants her name put on here, so I'm not going to say her name or show that, but like it said, this is like the youth division, and it said the artist name and that they live in Fisher. I was like, okay, how many 7th to 9th grade girls could there possibly be in Fishers? And then I was like, so I contacted the Hamilton Southeastern High School, and I was told, no, nobody's there. There's a Fishers High School too. So I was like, there's a Fishers High School and a Hamilton Southeastern, but if you look at Google Maps, they're both in Fishers. So I was so confused. Long story short though, I was able to get this painting. It's sitting on my sitting on my my shelf right now. But yeah, so I had to go through the Fisher school system and post it on the the Fisher chatter group on Facebook.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was able to find the artist, and I was able to get the painting. So now I've got this beautiful Spider-Man, Spider-Verse, Spider-Punk painting sitting in my apartment right now.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have this. If you ever go to I went to Tri-Central. So if you walked into Tri-Central,
how many students are in that?
It's a small town school.
Yeah.
So I mean, I can't really tell you the total number of students right off the top of my head, but because it's been a while.
And I went to Catholic school, and it was 800 students or so between 8 to 12.
Yeah, it was roughly. I think if I were to put an estimate, I'd say somewhere between 200 and 400 students if you combine the elementary and the middle school and the high school. But but you walk in and there's this big, Tri-Central Trojan mascot, like literally right there, and it's like, wow, hopefully, I think hopefully someday that'll get auctioned off or something.
Yeah.
And one of those, like, to the point where they don't need it anymore. Similar to the Spider-Man thing.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was my learning about the various Fishers, the school district, that doesn't make any sense to me. But
yeah, I know it's weird. It's like, we have Tipton County is the same way, because you got Tri-Central, then you got Tipton,
yeah,
and we have now what's even more confusing now is that you have students that live in Tipton that takes the bus over to Tri-Central, and vice versa. So now it's like, which I understand, like I would be, like if my parents were to have me live, say, in Indianapolis, and go to a big Indianapolis school, my parents would not even hear of it because of how, I'm not saying they're bad schools, it's just that, like some of these schools are really rough, or big, if you want to call it that.
yeah,
So I think they made the right decision putting me in a small town school,
Yeah.
and things like that. So we got about a minute and 25 seconds left. What else have you been up to recently?
well, I tracked down that painting and just been
Oh,
trying to get
I
some-
know what we were going to talk about, because you kind of mentioned this too.
Yeah.
The trails.
Yeah,
The Monon Trail, like all the different trails in Hamilton County.
yeah. There's tons of them. There's so many of them.
Yeah.
Fishers right here has got this brand new nickel plate trail, and it's even expanding to Indianapolis pretty soon. So
Yeah, I think.
so, yeah, looking forward to getting that completed.
Oh yeah, and then there's if you go to Westfield, I think Westfield's got the Monon Trail.
Yep.
And then I think Noblesville's got some kind of, I think it's nickel plate, but I am not for sure.
Yeah, it goes up to Pleasant.
Yeah, the trail that goes up to Pleasant. Yeah, I am
And
not.
Noblesville has the train too, that leads from the park.
Right. Yeah, I never, like, the only trail I've ever walked down, and I only do this because I think it's cool. If you go down if you walk along that bridge over 32 in Westfield,
Yeah.
it's really cool. I've walked, like, sometimes I'll go up there late at night or early in the morning just to get a good picture of the sunrise or the sunset.
Yeah. Well, by the Meyer off of 37, there's that single lane road over that bridge.
Yeah.
Well, there's also now a trail that connects the two strip malls. It goes under 37, so that's really cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
you have to, next time you're in Noblesville, show me, because
Yeah,
I don't think. Alright, our time is pretty much ran out, but all I gotta say is thank you. You have saved the show.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Alright, we'll be back to wrap things up in a moment.
If you'd like to be a guest on the Jacob Pyle Show, or if you're ordering a DVD copy of tonight's program, send Jacob an email. His email address is jtpyle1@aol.com. Or if you are ordering a DVD copy of tonight's program, send a $10 check or money order to the Jacob Pyle Show, care of Pyle Media Ventures, Post Office Box 154, Noblesville, Indiana 46061. Please include the air date seen on your screen when ordering. Residents outside of Indiana add $5 shipping and handling.
Thank you, Paul Poteet, very much. And incidentally, Paul Poteet's our new announcer on our show.
The weatherman of Indianapolis.
WRT, yeah, he did. He's now in Cincinnati, Ohio, doing the weather over there. But he was the first Indiana weatherman for Channel 4, and then he moved to Channel 6.
Yeah.
Doing a bunch of other things now. All right, I hope you can join me next week, where my guests will be comedian Tony Barrington, and from 45 Drive, Darby to Ford, and I hope that I can see them for that. We do have a tradition that we do on our show. I'm going to have you sign our little autograph book. Feels like the Carol Burnett show. Yeah. All right, and with that being said, thank you so much for joining us.
Sorry about my chicken scratches.
No, you're fine. You're fine. for Matt Stone, Paul Poteet, and all of us on the Jacob Pyle Show, I'm Jacob Pyle. Thank you for watching, and good night, everybody.
This program has been pre-recorded, saying good night from all of us at the Jacob Pyle Show. I'm Paul Poteet.